Hey, good morning. I'm having my cup of coffee with you. I am just on video. I wanted to talk to you and invite you to come meet with us in Italy. And I know it's a lot of money and time and investment. And it seemed important to tell you what it has meant to me to have the privilege of working in Europe and Japan and Africa. Uh, and actually in South, God, we got to work in Mexico. I mean, it's just, I think the place I want to speak from is what it has felt to me to be a world citizen. Um, Not all of it has been easy. I remember when we came across the water right after 9/11, and we sat with our circle in France at the Snow Line School, where we had the privilege of teaching for many years. And a lot of the students, you know, felt that at some level America finally got what it deserved. And that was a really, really confronting and shocking place for me to hang out. Um, and so, what was so powerful for me was that we were a school full of seekers and people who wanted to be more conscious. And this shadow material came right up out of the trauma from 9/11. And of course, us Americans were deeply, offended and upset and scared. And yet, as we talked it through with a group from all over Europe, it was really important for me to be able to hold with them what they've carried from their parents and grandparents of countries that were just, decimated by war and a kind of pain and poverty that our personal families had never been through, and their personal families were still healing from. And there was sort of a sense of Americans being removed from the troubles, and it gave me such a sense of humility and curiosity and an ability to sit differently with the world. When I was living in Africa, I had the same experience. The news and everything that people, the general sort of atmosphere that Americans especially live in about Africa is that it's great for animals and full of everything else is sort of pestilence and war. And that's just a tragic mistake. It's a tragic place to live. It's the wrong place to live. The people that I worked with and love in Africa are huge, enormous human beings, spiritually magnificent, and artistically, because was an artist working there, just absolutely outside the box, with talent and interest. And our language of the heart and the soul was exactly the same, which was really also another big learning experience for me, is that I'm not separate from Africa. And so now coming home and living in America again, and wanting to go back to Europe and wanting to bring some Americans with me, I want to bring them to you, and I want you to come back together, and I want us to be able to really just sit together with how we have changed each other. Um, what does it mean to be a world citizen? What does it mean that we come from all these different places? In Europe, often you're sitting right next to somebody in a group whose parents were at war with each other. Our dear beloved friends from Croatia, their war ended in the 1990s. Um, and so I expect that the conversation is always just sort of really deep and curious. And what's really remarkable about it is that there's so much joy and laughter and heart between us. Um, and I think we are the healing generation. I think we are the ancestors are traveling behind us saying, new things can happen. New things can happen. And I kind of have to hold on to that. I have 8 grandchildren in a time when when there's quite a lot of doomsday conversation, it's very painful. And I need to be with people who can hold that with me without going into what we call spiritual bypass and just going, oh, everything's going to be fine, or doom and depression, oh, fuck, we've only got another year to live. So in all of that mishmash, I have found my time with the circles in Europe, Japan, and Africa deeply life and soul enriching and changing, and made me more patient, made me more whole, certainly made me more full of the capacity for gratitude. And I just think it's made me more interested in being alive and just made me a bigger person. So I want you to be part of that. And those of you who've been in the circles before, I think you already know all this because it's kind of a miracle. And we are going to do whatever we can do to get you there if you want to get there. Patricia, our host in Italy, has already said she'll help. I will help. If you need scholarships, come on. We want to go. We want you there. I miss you. God, my hair looks awful today. Okay, well, I am aging. So come meet your aging friend, Deborah, and colleague and facilitator. And I really... it means a lot to me to try to articulate why being a citizen of the world has been such a gift. And I would like to have you there. Okay, I'm going to go drink my coffee. Love you, Deb.